Hello, long time no see. Well, that's not true. Long time no vlog, I guess is what I should say. Vlog? Anyhow, if you don't know, I'm Danielle. I am one half of the Our Time of the Month girl gang. Caitlin is the other half. And I love to camp. You may not have guessed that because I love makeup and beauty products so much, but it's true. I love to camp. I always have. I hope that I always will. And it's not something I really talk about much on our Instagram or the blog or YouTube, just because I feel like a lot of people wouldn't find it interesting. But a couple of weeks ago, I showed like a screen grab of my summer calendar and I said, I'm pretty freaking jazzed about all this camping that I have scheduled this summer. And people were like, camping? Could you write a blog post about camping? Because I want to go, but I don't really know where to start, or I don't have the gear, or I don't have anyone to go with. So it got me thinking, and I was like, hell yeah, I could write an epic blog post about camping. So there is a blog post if you want to read. I probably go more in depth with certain things on the blog versus a YouTube video, just because I'm talking and, you know, if I'm writing, I can really like formulate my thoughts. This, not so much. I'm just like, you know, crazy. So I thought I would show you what it looks like to prepare for camping. So I'm obviously at my house right now. It is Wednesday. We are leaving on Friday for just a normal weekend away of camping. We're gonna be visiting Susquehanna State Park, which is in like Northeast Maryland near Havre de Grace. And it's either it might be Harford County. It's Harford County or Cecil County, one of the two. Maryland has a lot of really great state parks that are very well equipped for camping. So Mike and I are going to be going this weekend. We're going to take Barkley with us. Barkley, you gonna go camping? Barkley loves to camp. You may not have guessed that either because he's a little fluffy dog, but he has an alter ego when we go camping. So I thought I would show you a little bit of behind the scenes of what we pack, how we pack, things that I definitely think you should bring, some things that you probably don't think I need to bring, but I'm going to bring anyways. And then I might hit on some things that I'm like, I really don't think anybody needs to bring this. Although I can't think of anything off the top of my head. So as I said, today's Wednesday. I've already started getting some of my stuff together, so this is gonna be in pieces. We have been camping for years, and as I said, it's something I did as a kid. Mike had never camped until he met me, which I think is, well, I guess it's not weird. I don't know. If you don't come from a family of camping, a camping family, how would you know anything about it? And so when he had told me that, I was like, oh, we have to go camping. And I had some gear, but a lot of it I've replaced over the years, and then we've since bought most of this together. So we have a lot of stuff. You slowly accumulate it. Buy it used. REI does a garage sale. Highly recommend that. I highly recommend like any old garage sale, honestly. Camping stuff is it's like one of those things that someone thinks it's gonna be a hobby, so they invest all this money into gear, and then they maybe use it one or two times and then it ends up in like a Goodwill or a garage sale. So always be on the lookout for used stuff because a lot of it is good quality. I did a little bit of shopping the other day. I did go to the Dollar Tree, which is a great resource if you wanna go camping. They have plenty of stuff there that you're gonna pay way more money for somewhere else, like Target or Walmart. And I did go to Walmart as well. So I'm gonna show you the things that I've got packed so far. I'm gonna show you how I organize it. I'm also gonna share with you a camping checklist that I've created. I'll put the link to the blog post below, but I made this camping checklist. It's a free download, it's printable. You can check things off your list. I know that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm not forgetting something, and that's all on the blog. So give that a read, download your checklist, tag us. I would love to see if you guys are using it. I would love to know if you guys are camping, because you know, it's just a lot of fun. And I said that on the blog, like it's good for my soul to camp because I don't have to worry about what's going on here. I can't. There's nothing I can do about anything that's happening at home. I can't check my email. I don't have a computer. I don't have to worry about who's knocking at my door. I don't have to worry about my crazy neighbors. It's fantastic. And sometimes we take Barkley and sometimes we don't. And this weekend we are. Oh, this is a burn from a campfire. Dang. It's probably gonna scar. All right, enough chit chat. Oh, there is something I want to show you. You know that well, you may not know this. I just assume that you know everything about me. Every summer, I like to find what I call my summer go-to beer. And usually it's Brooklyn Summer Ale. It's just very easy for me to drink. It doesn't make me feel like gross and full and gassy. And it is delicious. But there's a new summer beer in town. And it's New Belgium's passion fruit. Not only is this just gorgeous, like this beautiful, it's almost like a Tiffany blue teal can. It's a Kolsch, which isn't normally my favorite. However, I spotted it and tried it on a whim when we were in North Carolina, when Caitlin and I were in North Carolina in March. And as soon as I tasted it, I was like, this is gonna be the beer that I drink all summer. And I can't get away from it. I buy it every single time that I'm craving a beer. That's what I'm going for. So I'm enjoying one of those while I get my stuff together. Oh my God, if you love passion fruit, which I do so much, I think it's a very underutilized flavor, you will love this because it tastes like real passion fruit. And it's very light alcohol. It's only 4.3 ABV, so you're not gonna get like smashed, but this is the kind of beer that you kind of want to drink like while you're camping, you know, it's hot, it makes you feel refreshed. I don't know. No? Sure. Okay, let's get started. I know what else I forgot to say. This is not like backpacking, hike to your campsite 3 miles into the woods kind of camping. This is what some people call car camping or glamping. We pack modern day conveniences, but we sleep outside and we cook outside and sometimes use the bathroom outside. It's just, you know, I think to myself, why not take it? If I might use it or if I definitely need it, I'm going to take it. So car camping can mean you sleep in your car. We don't do that. We pitch a tent, we do the whole thing. So you're gonna see a lot of stuff that you're probably gonna be like, that is so ridiculous. She is so extra for bringing this. But like I said, I've been doing this for years and I've very much narrowed down what I bring and what I don't bring. Like there were times when I was like, I can't even believe we brought 3 frying pans. Why would we do that? That's just crazy. Take 1 or maybe 2 if you want to do like a meat one and a vegetable one. So I have pared it down a lot. It might look like a lot to some of you. It might look like very little to some of you. And again, this is just like stage 1 of the packing process. So I just wanted to send out my little disclaimer that I know this is a lot of stuff, okay? I know it, but I have an SUV. I don't have kids. I have the room to take it, so why not? This is the initial like process for me. I make sure that I am saving my cardboard boxes religiously, whether I'm getting them at the liquor store when we stock up on wine and beer, whether I'm getting them from friends. This one's actually like a Sherwin-Williams paint box, which is nice because it's tall and skinny and it can fit into our SUV, maybe in a space that, you know, something else like a traditional rectangle box wouldn't fit. So I kind of try to divide things up by area. So this first bag is nowhere near completion. Some random stuff in here actually. Oh, this is like minus the mallet. That doesn't belong in there. These brown bags and that dryer lint and this like, oh, Chick-fil-A bag. This is like fire starter material. So we camp with a campfire. If you're not having a campfire, I don't know what you're doing. How else are you making your s'mores? Or how else are you cooking your meals? We have a camp stove, but we also cook over an open flame. So dryer lint, especially shoved into like an empty tissue roll or toilet paper, or I'm sorry, paper towel roll is a really great fire starter. So empty out your dryer. God, look at all that dog hair. Brown bags, because they don't really have a lot of print on them and they're recyclable. Those are also great fire starters. We have an old dead tree in our backyard and we'll probably take some twigs from that. This is a mallet. This is definitely a must-have for driving stakes in to your tent, and I just threw it in there for now. This is like my main kitchen box, everything that I would need to cook anything. So I've essentially put my entire kitchen in this little box. This is a food dome or a food tent. There are bugs. You are in nature. All of your food is not going to be ready at the same time. You're probably going to have to put your hot dogs or your macaroni salad or your corn on the cob, you know, under a food tent. I got this at the dollar store. It's massive, so I think it would cover 2 to 3 plates very easily. $1. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this stuff. I have some paper plates. Please don't take styrofoam. Please don't take plastic. Think about, you know, being in nature. I know that this has ink on it and maybe it's not the best thing to burn, but you know, there are dumpsters nearby. I have a tablecloth. This is just a regular like dollar section. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think it was $3 at Walmart, but it's an extra long picnic table size tablecloth. It's plastic, so I can wipe it off and reuse it all season long. I have a sponge. Okay, this is where the glamping comes into play. I have a French press. Yes, a French press. We make our own coffee, and here's the kettle to warm our water. Throw that right over the fire or over our camp stove, and we have fresh coffee every morning. We have oven mitts, very important, don't forget those. And then things like matches. I also have a lighter under there. These are both great fire starters. I have some kitchen utensils under there, like a spatula and a spoon. I have a can opener for beans, and then we take just 2 spoons, 2 forks, 2 knives of regular silverware, so we don't have to take disposable. We just wash it in between. I have Dawn dish soap here. Garbage bags, don't forget those. I also have several extra food storage bags in case we have leftovers from anything. And then I like stack things into things. So this is a beer koozie, like a Yeti beer koozie. This is a Yeti beer koozie, which is inside of a coffee mug. Here's another coffee mug. We use that for water, for coffee, for alcohol, doesn't matter. I have a pack of baby wipes from the dollar store, $1. Obviously everything's $1 at the dollar store, right? This is like an old, not old, but like an empty Nuun container that we drink these are our electrolyte tabs of choice, and we washed it out and we put salt in here because it's nice and skinny, it can just fit in there. And then this is like an actual tube of Nuuns. Is it focusing? Yeah, this is an actual tube of Nuuns. One of my favorite flavors, the strawberry melon. And then last but not least in here, this isn't really a kitchen item, but it's something that's extremely important. I had originally purchased this pill container for spices, but I learned the quick way that these don't completely seal, and when you like twist it over, the salt was going everywhere. So I was like, you know what? I'll use it for what it's really for. Pills. We don't really take pills, but you never know what's gonna happen when you're out in the wilderness and you're not anywhere near, you know, a pharmacy. So I have Allegra for allergies. Mike and I have actually been taking these every day. I have Gas-X. I also have Benadryl because I have a bee allergy. I have Pepto. I have Tums. I have Advil liquid gels, and then I have just regular old ibuprofen. So I'm just gonna keep this full. Hopefully we don't need anything from it, and this just is gonna live in this box forever so that every time we go camping, I know that I have it. Okay, so that's like most of the kitchen stuff, minus a sharp knife, a small cutting board, and a cast iron skillet. Then we come over here. This was a new purchase. I actually found this at Walmart. This is an egg carrier. It's plastic. Most egg cartons are cardboard, and if you put that in a cooler, it will disintegrate. It will get wet, it will disintegrate. So I just bought one of these. I think it was $3 at Walmart. This mat is for the outside of our tent, so we can either leave our shoes on here or we can wipe our feet before we get in our tent so that we're not tracking a bunch of dirt in there. And I thought this was really cute. This is our happy place, and that's what I was saying earlier, camping just feels good for my soul. This was $1 at Dollar Tree. That's right. I have an entire roll of Reynolds nonstick. This is great for throwing over like a grill grate on the fire. I have a roll of paper towels, a roll of toilet paper, sequence. Don't forget games. You know, you never know if you're gonna have a rainy day or maybe something just like your plans just didn't work out. You don't wanna sit around with nothing to do, so we always take sequence, and I think, yeah, phase 10 is in here. So We just keep our Phase 10 cards in this container. I don't know why. It's just easy to keep track of, I guess. And then this is something new for me. So this is like an over-the-door shoe organizer, but it's not quite as wide as a door. I had seen a couple people on Pinterest use those over-the-door shoe organizers, like either hooked to like a bungee cord wrapped around a tree or hung up underneath a pop-up tent for things like all those kitchen utensils that I was showing you, or bug spray or cooking spray or sunscreen or anything, hand sanitizer, things that you're finding that you're constantly needing access to, but maybe you don't want to dig them out of the car, or you don't want to junk up your eating area or your game table. Just like a smart way and an affordable way to keep things up and out of the way. I would not put food in there. I don't know if I covered this in the blog post, but animals are really smart, and the smartest animals live near state parks and national forests and campgrounds. They know that there's food at every campsite. They can get into your cooler. They will certainly get on your table and get whatever is left. They're foragers. So don't leave food sitting out. Make sure that you have a really good sturdy cooler. If it's not a good lid, put something really heavy on top to deter them. Don't leave your food out. Some people even recommend just hanging your trash up. A lot of campsites do have like a wooden pole with a metal hook, and that's for your trash or for lanterns and stuff like that. This is my third box. There's still tons of room in here, and there's tons of room in here, so I may not even need this box here. This is like my miscellaneous outdoor stuff. So we have a citronella candle. I have 100% DEET. If you don't believe in this, well, you've never seen me during the summer. I get absolutely eaten alive, but I will say with that, I can go camping and be, you know, a pleasant person for the weekend. This is a suction clothesline, so you can, like, if you had 2 cars at your campsite, you could put them like one on one window of one car and another section on the other window of another car. There are other ways to do it. They also have Velcro straps. You can hang it up some way, but you're probably gonna have wet clothes at one point or another, and hanging them to dry is the best way. And then this is just in case rope. So we're taking Barkley, as I said, and I've read a few things online about how to create a zip line for your dog. And I know, again, that sounds really extra, but I don't want to have to stake him to the ground or tie him to a tree. You know, leash laws and that kind of stuff still applies when you're in a park. And Barkley is a hound, so he finds scents and then tracks them heavily. So I figured if we can make a zip line like I saw online, he would be much happier. And I bought this rope because it was 50 feet. We do have a wire cable. We're gonna try that first, and if that doesn't work, we have this. And then I have a 75-pound carabiner that locks so that I can hook this to his leash that will then hook to the zip line. I will show you the finished product if it turns out. Again, this is something I saw online, and I just want to make him as comfortable as possible. So I still have a few things to put in here. I'm probably gonna film multiple days to kind of show you as I'm adding things. I also wanted to show you this. As I said, you know, our dog loves to camp. So I bought him a Coolaroo, which is this pet bed that keeps your dogs like up and elevated and off the ground. It allows for breeze, but it also allows him so he's not like laying directly in the dirt or gravel. And it just came from Amazon today. He's not laying in it. That's not a good sign. Come here, buddy. Come on. I feel like it would be really comfortable because it's almost trampoline feeling. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come on. Oh, yeah. How's that? If you read our blog post, you saw photos of Barkley completely covered in filth and dirt from a previous camping trip. So I was trying to minimize that as much as possible. Okay, so again, this is a Coolaroo. I think it was 23 bucks on Amazon. Super easy. It was like 4 parts. You just screw in these little bolts and it seems nice. And this is the medium size. Good boy. You think you can sleep on that all weekend? I will say I wouldn't recommend putting it on hardwood floors or linoleum floors because I do think it would scratch your surfaces. Definitely made for outside, but I put it on this area rug for now. Okay, then, so you know, gotta make my dog as comfortable as possible because I'm a crazy dog mom. This is actually a cooler that we're borrowing from some friends, and the brand is Pure Outdoor, and I know it comes from Monoprice. And this is essentially the same thing as a Yeti cooler for about a quarter of the price. This is, I don't know if it's bear proof, but it has these like silicone or rubber latches on both sides that are pretty tricky. Like I can't see a raccoon being able to open that. It also has a bottle opener here, which is also convenient, and then these rope foam handles to help you carry it, because it is a rather large cooler, but very well insulated. It has a drain in the bottom. Mike and I are giving this a test run this weekend because we think we might buy one, and we just want to make sure that A, it's big enough for all of our stuff, and B, we don't have to buy a lot of ice. Oh, and it has like measurements here. I think this is if you're a big fisherman or something, you want to see how big your bass is, or trout, whatever. So this is a really nice cooler, and super grateful that they're letting us borrow it this weekend because our cooler has kind of just shit the bed. This bag I had kept up on the table so Barkley couldn't access it because this is our snack bag. I found the individual size bags of Zapp's Voodoo chips. Oh, see, look, here he is. He knows. He hears the crinkle of a bag and he's here. I found these at Walmart. So I bought the like party packs. So we're taking 4 bags of those. Hot dog buns. I think there's a loaf of bread down there. What else? In the very bottom of the bag, there are some flour tortillas because I'm making pulled chicken tacos. We have a few of these grain-free granola bars, delicious and very filling. We're gonna go canoeing on Saturday, so this will be a good treat to take with us. Oh, you wouldn't lay on the bed, but you lay on the dollar mat. You're so funny. You're so funny. And then these were a discovery during our last camping trip. Not by us, but by our friends who are loaning us this cooler. Hers potato chips are some of my favorites, and they're pretty local to us. And honestly, I hadn't had a cheese curl in probably 10 years. But they found these honey cheese flavored curls, and I gotta say, they're like crack. So these will definitely be gone before we come home on Sunday. I will finish putting like my necessary spices and oils and stuff that I might need, but then hopefully the rest will fit in the cooler and we won't have to use another box. The last thing that I have together are waters and beer. So I have 3 3-gallon waters for drinking water. There are water filling stations in the park, but I don't always want to go to one, so we have 3 of these. And then we bought a couple packs of beer. So this is also New Belgium. So this is another one of their fun seasonal flavors. Mike really loves it. It's watermelon, lime, hibiscus, and agave. It's sour and a little bit salty, which is nice and refreshing. And then he also picked out the Heavy Seas can sampler. And I have an unopened 6-pack of the passion fruit beer. And that's what we have for now. I will show you the rest as I assemble it. Hi there, it is now Friday afternoon. Mike and I have worked a full day and we're getting ready to leave. And I've made a few edits to some of our supplies. So I wanted to show you what I've done and how I've consolidated and whatnot. You might remember that I had 3 boxes laid out before. Actually 4 because these 2 were down on the ground. I've consolidated everything to 2 boxes and I feel really great about it. I also have added this soft top cooler so we can take it with us when we go canoeing tomorrow. Our waters are laid out, and then I also have the tarp and the welcome mat. And then we've got our pillows and then our duffel bag. This has all of mine and Mike's clothes. For all weather conditions. It's going to be hot during the day, but kind of cool at night, maybe even down in the 50s. So we've packed some warm gear. Our toiletries are in here. And then I'm only bringing 1 pair of shoes, and I'm bringing these Teva Hurricane. I think they're the XLT2. They're the men's version. I got them in a men's 6 because they were cheaper than the women's. And I understand that they're not the most fashionable sandal, but I had a pair of Tevas. I still have them. They've just lost some of their stick, some of their Velcro stick. And I've had them for about 7 or 8 years and they still are like held up very well on the bottom. These are the new pair. So I'm taking them for their maiden voyage this weekend. And that's the only pair of shoes that I'm gonna bring. Finally, I'll show you inside of our refrigerator. I know that's not very exciting, but I tried to put everything that needs to be taken from the fridge and put into the cooler on one shelf so I'm not forgetting anything. So that's what this shelf is, as well as this. I actually made pulled chicken for tacos. I have never made it before, so we're gonna see how it is. Can you even see me? Probably not. Okay, we're here. The tent building is about to commence. This is permethrin, sure. And you spray your gear. It repels and kills chiggers, ticks, mites, and mosquitoes for hunting, fishing, camping, and scouting. It's for your gear and your tents. And we spray it on like, I don't know, once a year because I'm pretty sure it lasts forever, doesn't it, honey?
Sure, I think so.
Don't repeat this process more than once every 42 days. Here's our entire campsite. Hook for your trash, table, workstation. Voila. Good morning. We survived the night. It was actually really cold last night. I wore leggings with fleece pants over top, socks. I wore a long sleeve shirt, and then I wore this sweatshirt. And I slept with my head under the covers almost the whole night. It was freezing. It was down in the 50s, which is, I think, like kind of abnormally chilly for this time of the year. So we slept in a little, which was much needed. There are some really young kids in this park, which is great if you want to take your kids camping. But I feel like if you're taking a kid to a park who can't sleep through the night, it's really awkward and uncomfortable for everybody. And at one point, the mom got up with the baby and she walked all the way around the entire campground. Oh, what's up, Spider? The nicest bathrooms I've ever seen in a public park before, ever. Really great, top notch. Mike's made coffee already. I'm really excited. This is the Coleman stove that I talked about on our blog post. I think it was like 50 bucks when we bought it. We looked for a sale. It's been fantastic. It has 2 burners. You need propane, which they're like, what, $5 a canister?
I don't even think that much.
Not even that much. $3.99, I don't know. They're really affordable. And that's a French press that's been featured in an Amazon favorites video. Still using it, still love it. It's the best one I've ever used. I think it's better than a Bodum. And it keeps the coffee really hot for a long time. And then we have our coffee mugs. And this is a Yeti. I don't know. Oh! OMG. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you only put it in yours.
No,
fucking hell. Well, it's just cream, and we have more.
3 coffee creamers. Thanks, work.
Thanks, work. I'm really sorry. Don't let me do that again. Anyhow, it's this Yeti mug with a lid. Not necessary, but So that's where we are. Wow, it's really crooked, sorry. I didn't hear any animals last night. We camped at my dad's house a few weeks ago, and it was very difficult to fall asleep because they live in the middle of absolute nowhere, and there were definitely critters all around us.
Big critters.
Big critters. They were probably like raccoons, but they sounded huge. And also it had just stormed its ass off, and we were sleeping underneath dead limbs, according to my dad, which is never good. Always check above. I'm trying to think of things I didn't mention in the blog post.
I don't know.
Oh, like leave no trace. That's a really great policy that everyone should adopt when you're visiting any park or like state park, national park, doesn't matter. Take away what you brought. Throw it away, take it home with you, whatever. Don't litter. I see littering in the woods behind us and that's really pissing me off. Oh, another tip, check for ticks. I read a really horrifying article the other day about a man in New Jersey who died from a tick bite. I'm terrified of ticks. I'd rather see a snake than have a tick on me. I want to know why there aren't pills or vaccines for humans for ticks and mosquitoes. I'm ready for that one. Thanks, babe.
What you ready?
Cheers. What kind of coffee are we drinking? So we're having counterculture coffee, Big Trouble, caramel, nutty, and round. Pretty sure this is a North Carolina based business. It's some of my favorite, like my favorite brand of coffee. Their stuff is so delicious. If you're in Baltimore, you can find this at the Wine Source. Can you find it at Whole Foods? Whole Foods? Wegmans? Yeah, a couple, but the Wine Source has an extensive collection, as does Artifact Coffee. They brew counterculture coffee. Would you say last night was the coldest night we've camped?
Yeah.
Oh, so cold. Poor Barkley. We brought his bed in the tent and there was no way he was going to sleep on it.
Poor Barkley, he's probably the warmest out of them all.
He slept sandwiched, literally spread out like a freaking pancake in between us. Until I forced him under the covers this morning. And that's the warmest I was. Your leg looks like shit.
Ooh,
I thought it wasn't oozing.
it wasn't.
That looks
I
really
slept on my
bad.
back most of the nights. I don't know how.
That looks really bad. Let's see your wounds.
Get out of Barkley.
Look at this.
It's down.
This site is in the Beech Nut Loop of Susquehanna State Park. We're at site 20 and it's completely secluded on all sides, well, except for the driveway. But the really cool thing about this entire loop is that you can't, like there's no way to walk through someone else's campsite to get to the bathroom because all of the campsites have like a wooded walkway path that lead to the bathhouse, which is in the center of the loop, which is really smart because we always choose sites that are away from the bathhouse or the garbage, like the dumpsters or the water filling stations, because people will walk through your site. This site in particular, I'm sure the others are kind of similar. It's surrounded by wild raspberry bushes. They're not ripe, sadly, but if you came in July, I bet you they would be. Hello there. We are home from camping, as you can very clearly tell. Our tent is nice, but it's not this nice. And I wanted to apologize for the lack of camping footage. You know, we're out there spending time together, and the last thing that comes to mind is picking up a camera and filming our thoughts or our interactions. So apologies for that. As I said, there is a very detailed blog post on our blog. If you didn't know, we started out as a blog. We write things and take pictures. So I'm linking that below. Please give it a visit. I worked really hard on it, and I feel like, you know, as I said before, it was easier to formulate my thoughts in writing versus telling a camera because I have more time. I can go back and I can edit that. So Saturday after you saw us, I think I left you, we were eating breakfast and we had survived the really cold night. Even a gentleman we talked to later in the day was like, that's the coldest night we've had in months. It's like, yeah, tell me about it, I remember. So after breakfast, we cleaned up, we waited for the weather to warm up a little bit, and Mike Barkley and I went canoeing at Ultimate Water Sports, which is located in Middle River, Maryland. It was a little bit of a drive for us, but even being on the Susquehanna River, I was really surprised that we couldn't find any canoe or kayaking rentals closer than Middle River. I think there's a huge market for it. So I'm not sure if it just wasn't showing up online or if it doesn't exist, but if you're someone who wants to own a business in like the Susquehanna area, I think that'd be a great one. I would be a patron. So we did that. We ended up canoeing with Barkley, which it was his first time in a canoe, and he freaking loved it. He like perched on the edge of the canoe, which made me extremely anxious in the beginning because it felt like we were gonna just tip right into the water, but everything worked out fine. We did that for a few hours, had great weather, and then packed up. Barkley fell asleep immediately, and we headed back towards Susquehanna. We stopped at Keys Creamery on the way, which is some of my favorite ice cream. It's so creamy and delicious. It's homemade. They have seasonal flavors. I highly recommend checking them out. And then after that, we ended up just palling around Susquehanna State Park for the rest of the day. We did a short hike with the dog that led us to a waterfall, which was beautiful. We let him swim for a bit. I have pictures of that. Everything is going to be on the blog, photo related. I think it's funny because when we adopted Barkley, and for several years after that, he didn't want anything to do with water. I know he can swim because I've watched him do it. He just wasn't enjoying it. And so I bought him a life vest, and now we can't keep him out of the water. So I think he just needed that reassurance that he's not going to sink. And then we just kind of drove around the park. We saw a bunch of birds. I never thought I'd be a person who was like, look at these birds, but you know, herons and ospreys and stuff like that, pretty cool to look at. And then we went back to our campsite and we had a fire and we made dinner. And it was actually a really pleasant night's sleep on Saturday night because it was about 10 degrees warmer. So I did not freeze. I did not wake up to like shivering. I didn't wake up to a crying baby, which was another plus. Sorry, I'm picking up burn on my arm. And then Sunday morning, maybe TMI, sorry, but not because it's life, I got my period. And I will say, there is like a time and a place to have that happen, but being in the woods, I think kind of tops the list of like where not to be when that happens. There's nothing I can do about it. It's Mother Nature, you know, Mother Nature and Mother Nature. So that like kind of inspired us to hurry up the packing process and get out of there, just because like it's uncomfortable, you know, I don't have to tell you. So we came home, we unpacked all of our stuff, and another huge tip that I have is to just throw your dirty bedding, clothing, whatever you used, any kind of textile that you used, throw it directly into the washing machine as soon as you get home. You don't know what kind of stuff might have crawled into your bag. I don't know, like probably not, but you never know. I douse myself in bug spray, so certainly all of my stuff smells bug spray. So I did 2 loads of laundry last night and it's done. Like woke up this morning and I don't have to worry about it. I'm considering investing in a couple of like $5 affordable clear bins with lids that are, I don't know, like this size. I don't know what that is, like the size of the cardboard boxes, because while those are great and they serve their purpose perfectly well and they're free, I can't see through them, so I'm often like peering in the top and digging around for what I need. With a clear bin, they could stack easier and I could see what was in them from all sides versus like digging through everything all the time. So I think I'm gonna make that change. Everything else worked out for us really well. I looked at other people's campsites and I feel like although it looks like a lot of stuff that we're bringing, I felt like other people were bringing way more stuff, and maybe they have kids or just different needs or wants while they're camping, but I know it may have seemed like a lot of stuff, although to me it does not. But we used everything, which, you know, that's how you know that you've got yourself a good packing list nailed down. And I really do feel that I do. Otherwise, I feel like everything else went really well. Our campsite was great. I really liked that campground because there was no chance of someone kind of stumbling into your site or walking through your site to find the bathhouse, which in some state parks, it's not that way. People will walk through your campsite. That's just the nature of the beast. It was great. I would go again, and I had mentioned this in the blog post, but it was a sold out weekend for them. So you can sometimes drive up to a state park and they do have availability for you to just pitch a tent. You don't have to make an advance reservation. But when we rolled up on Friday, it said campsite full. So I think that's another big tip that I would like to drive home is, make sure you're looking online. It's super easy. It doesn't cost you anything extra to reserve a site online. It, in fact, saves you, I think, time and worry. Because what if you packed up all that stuff and you got there and they were like, sorry, we don't have any availability. Try again some other time. But it was a great weekend. We had a lot of fun. It was just nice to be with each other, and we did not have cell service at the campsite, which was frustrating when we wanted to look at weather, but then like a blessing in disguise because I didn't have to worry about emails or social media or anything. If I needed to call someone, which I didn't, I could have just driven a couple of minutes and everything would have been fine. I think I touched on the leave no trace policy. Make sure that you take home what you bring. Don't throw your trash in the woods. Don't throw your trash on the ground. Either burn it if it is able to be burned. Napkins, stuff like that. Don't burn all your trash and your plastic bottles and stuff like that. Recycle and throw away the rest. You want to leave the park in as good or better condition than when you found it. And that's so other people can enjoy it just the same as you. Honestly, littering is my biggest pet peeve. Those who know me in my real life can attest to that. I will follow you, I will hunt you down, and I will tell you that you drop trash, so don't do it. Barkley had a great time. He's still sleeping away. It's exhausting. You're working a lot of the time, but it's so much fun and it's so rewarding, and sleeping in a tent is like my favorite thing about camping. And Mike loves to sit around a campfire. He could do that all day, all night long until morning, probably. I went to bed early on Saturday night and he was like, I'm just gonna stay up and watch this fire burn out. I was like, you do you, babe. I could hear him singing out there to himself. It was great. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, please check out the blog post. There's a lot of information there. I'm leaving some of our non-perishable items packed because we're headed out camping again in 2 weeks. We're going to West Virginia, and I will try to film some of that because it's a completely different style of camping. There is no bathhouse, there is no running water. You have to take what you need, or you have to trek out, and I don't really want to do that. I'm there. Once I'm there, and I'll just use the bathroom in the woods, and I will bring my own water and that kind of stuff. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. Leave comments below. Let us know where you're camping, if you've ever camped. If you want to camp and you're just not sure where to start, again, head to the blog. I've got it all covered there, I think. And if you have questions, if you have comments, please leave them below. We love to hear from you. I would love to talk to you about camping. It's something that I really enjoy, and every time I'm out there, I'm like, God, I never get out there and think, oh, I really didn't want to do that this weekend. I really didn't want to camp this weekend. I'm like, man, I wish we were camping every weekend. And it's a lot of work, but the reward is very much worth it because it's quiet and beautiful, and you have to, just be slower, which is really something that I think everyone can benefit from. I hope that you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great summer. It's the start of summer. It's beautiful weather here today, which is nice. I'm getting ready to head to the eye doctor. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. It's at Our Time of the Month. We have a Facebook page if you're interested in following us there. We're on Pinterest. We have our blog, www.ourtimeofthemonth.com. That's kind of it. You can reach us all those places, and we hope that you do, and we will see you soon. Bye.